Hey, movie lovers, this is Brad.
And this is Tyler.
This podcast was recorded originally as a Patreon exclusive.
That's right. This was recorded before we even knew that Popcorn Dogs would ever be available to the public. So you might hear some older references.
If you want access to episodes early, as well as over 75 bonus episodes of our various shows, check out patreon.com/hairofthedogcast and check out our free trial.
Now, please enjoy this vintage episode of Popcorn Dogs. Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to Netflix.
I did. I think, did you post that in the Discord? Someone did.
No, someone did. Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, it's going to be a show. Is it going to be live action? Do we know?
I'm guessing
Probably.
It'll be live action. Yeah,
If it can't be worse than the Halo show.
that's true.
I don't even know who you cast for that.
Some people are saying the girl from It that plays the redheaded girl.
Too young.
And other people were saying the girl from Stranger Things.
Too young.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Too young. You need like a 25-year-old. I honestly wouldn't know. I couldn't imagine.
Just cast Amy Adams as Alloy.
Florence Pugh, maybe?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
She's got like the body type for an Aloy, which I remember hearing that name and thinking, that's a dumb name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough cast, though, because like Aloy's kind of gruff and like not
that interesting of a character.
Yeah, that's true. I'm dancing around it. She's really not that interesting.
Yeah. I do need to play Breath of the Horizon Wild or whatever it is. Horizon Call
Breath of the Forbidden Wild.
Call of the Wild.
Call of the
Whatever it is. I need to play it. I'm sure it'll be good. I like the first one enough. The God of War show is coming as well.
Mm-hmm. With they haven't announced Kratos yet, but we did settle on
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yeah, that's right. I don't think they're going to be able to top that.
Dave Bautista, I think, would be a very good Kratos.
Jason Momoa.
No, Jason Momoa
or The Rock.
I see Dave Bautista just super gruff. He's got the physique too.
Yeah, if you would have told me that when Guardians 1 came out,
when it was just a guy with like a little
soul patch, I would have been like, nah, no Batista for me. But I think he's actually come a long way as an actor. Like, he was in Blade Runner 2049 for like a split second.
I didn't see him in that.
He's in Dune.
Yeah, he's good in that. He's a good actor.
Yeah, like he's actually got some chops.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see him.
I could see that.
Do you think they're going to do like they're going to follow the most recent game and do like the Nordic theme, or you think they go back to the roots and do like early God of War stuff?
They do Nordic. They that's the hot stuff right now. I don't know. I mean, maybe they go back, but that seems to me more of an anime scenario. I guess. I mean, if they wanted to do the early stuff, that's anime. Norse live action for sure. It's got a more live action feel, but as far as like the set design for Norse mythology, it's easy. You got boats, you got forests.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in like ancient Greece, it's all over the top set pieces and crazy locations. I think that'd be a little more difficult to do. Then we got Dave Bautista in a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Tom Hanks in a boat. Yeah. Gosh. I don't know why Tom Hanks was goofy, but... And they also announced a Gran Turismo show.
Yeah, which is weird. The first thing I thought of was Top Gear. Like, is it just going to be a Top Gear show?
I like that. I mean, I don't like cars or Top Gear, but I know that's a good show. Yeah. And I could see that being a way to approach it. Documentary style series. It's about your love of cars. There's no narrative in Gran Turismo. I don't think there's a story mode other than there's different races and you just move up in the standings.
Yeah. Have they announced if that's going to be on Netflix or not?
I don't know.
What they should do is they should drop the season and like it should just be offline for like the first 3 days.
Must be online to watch. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Checked out a new brewery yesterday. Went to Ope Brewing.
Ope?
Yep.
Like OPE? Mm-hmm. Like the universal, I'm sorry, I'm in your way. I'm from Wisconsin. This is how I apologize.
Yeah, I hate the name.
Ope.
It's such a stupid name. Ope.
Ope.
Their session IPA is called Sea Daisy, so it's Ope Sea Daisy.
Oh my God.
And it's all really lame puns like that. But the beers were good and the space was cool. But I don't know. It's just such a stupid name to me.
Ope. Yeah, that's like if you're trying to pander to Midwesterners, it's going too on the nose, too on the nail there. You got to be more discreet.
Yeah. But it was all right, and drank too much overall yesterday. In things we've been watching, Carly and I have watched the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. We watched that day one, and we've seen 4 episodes of Stranger Things. We were very drunk last night and watched 2 more episodes.
Oh, nice.
New season's very good, though. It's much darker than the previous ones.
I was hoping it would be, because I feel like that show's just getting more and more grounded, and it's got this cool... one of the same reasons I like Harry Potter is I grew up with the characters. I'm not growing up with these characters, but it is nice to see the story gets darker as they get older. It's like they timed it real well where like all the kids are actually growing up too. So this sense of time that passes and the stakes getting raised, I feel like really works with Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's weird now
because you feel like you actually are like seeing these these characters' actual lives.
Yeah,
they come back from a new season. They look all different. They got new stuff going on.
They're very different this season. They're monstrously huge, and they still have just the same haircuts when they were 5.
And also, like, they're still just fighting these trans-dimensional enemies. Like, can we get these kids some help? Can we get them an army? Dude. Or like, why is it still just high schoolers?
Well, you can't trust the army. It's because they're not trying to help you. They're trying to cover it up.
That's true.
They would just stand outside of Hawkins Middle School and just wait for someone else to show up because they're like, well, there's a monster in there. What if we get shot?
I was worried.
Not to be political. Fuck that shit. Fuck those people down in Texas, though. Stupid assholes. Yeah.
I thought the show, I'm glad it didn't, but I thought it was going to jump the shark with the whole Russian storyline in season 3.
Yeah.
I really thought that was going to be like, all right, now the it's beyond believable. Now it's like it's too far out there. Mm-hmm. As if the Demigorgon wasn't enough in the first 2 seasons, or the Mind
Flayer.
Mind Flayer, yeah.
The big baddie in this one is pretty terrifying.
I haven't seen anything, not a single trailer. I've seen maybe 1 photo.
The new characters are cool too. I really like it. And Obi-Wan was amazing.
My stepdad's a huge Star Wars fan, and he's making my mom rewatch, or they already did, the first 3 episodes in preparation for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So 3 days before, they watched 1 and 2 and then 3. And my mom is not terribly into Star Wars, so every time I'd get on the phone with her, I'd be like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Watching the Star Wars. I'm like, you sound thrilled, Mom.
Yeah.
She did like episode 3, though, surprisingly.
Yeah. It's interesting. Obi-Wan has a 4-minute recap before the movie starts, just showing the main events of episodes 1, 2, and 3. And it's interesting because the way they edited it together, it makes it look like films with substance, which is kind of impressive. Since those films are laughably they're not good at conveying emotion necessarily. It's very wooden dialogue, and no actor could perform it properly. But it's great. that Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are getting opportunities to revisit these characters.
Yeah, I think Hayden got a really bad rap for playing Anakin, but
He did what he could with what he had.
Yeah, like the story and script weren't great, and I'm confident no matter who you cast in that role, they're going to get shit on. Especially back then, like you had people going to, I forget what movie it was, but going to the theaters paying ticket price just to watch the trailer for Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
The hype around those movies was too big, and
It was for the Waterboy and Meet Joe Black.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like anybody who would have taken that role on would have gotten shit on, I think.
Yeah.
No matter how good they did. So I think he gets a bad rap. He also didn't do great.
So I was just reading earlier today, episode 1, The Phantom Menace, before it came out, George Lucas's original deal he made with Kenner, the toy company that made the original Star Wars action figures, he made a very poor deal with them. He was smart enough to get the merchandising rights for the movie from the film company, but with Kenner, there was an agreement that they would get lifetime exclusive access to the Star Wars, like all of the toy line, as long as they kept making toys and they made enough to pay George $10,000 every year.
that's a terrible deal.
I don't know how this happened, but that was the deal, and so it kept going. But then someone at Kenner wasn't paying attention. Hasbro picked up Kenner at some point. I don't know if it was afterwards, but after Return of the Jedi, they didn't know more Star Wars things were coming, and they forgot to pay George one year, so he got all the rights back just because they didn't pay him $10,000 one year, which is a big bonehead move. They had to pay like $4 billion to get back in.
Oh my God.
And they lost exclusive rights, so that's why there was a million other things available, Episode 1 style. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I actually remember that. I feel like there was an explosion of Star Wars toys because Episode 1 came out in what, 2000?
1999 or 2001?
I would have
something
been
like that.
I was in like first or second grade when that movie came out.
Yeah.
And I had the Darth Maul lightsaber that came out both sides.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in daycare and every kid had a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
We would just Star Wars the shit out of it every day after school. But then...
they're so cool. The way they pop out.
Oh man, I remember pinching my fingers in the little because it was like 3 cones that came out, and I would try to get it back in because it would get like stuck, and then you pinch your finger. Oh, that fucking hurt.
Those were the shit though. And Episode 1 I loved it back in the day. I'm still fond of it. I still like that movie more than most people, but
I think they have one of the.
There's my beautiful Jar Jar cup from Pizza Hut. He's great.
I think Darth Maul deserved more time. And if even going back and watching Phantom Menace again, the way they show Darth Maul in that final fight, he's terrifying.
Yeah.
He's taking on Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and doing quite well.
The biggest misstep, I think, in the prequels was that Darth Maul should have been the villain for the 3. He kills Qui-Gon. He should get away, and Obi-Wan is then tasked with this vengeance that he wants to go, and he has to learn to either... accept that revenge isn't the answer. And that's going to be Obi-Wan's moral dilemma, is trying to get revenge for Qui-Gon's death or save Anakin. And maybe he chooses to go after Darth Maul. And that's one of the reasons Anakin does go bad, is because Obi-Wan's overcome with the wrong anger. I mean, that would be way more interesting.
Yeah. And then it would perfectly go hand in hand with Anakin's whole hatred and rage conniption that he has too, because you would have these nice mirroring storylines. Plus, Darth Maul was too fucking good to just kill in the first movie. Mm-hmm. That guy was badass.
Well, he looked badass, and he had a physical presence.
Yeah.
He has 2 or 3 lines, and even the actor performed him, but they didn't like his voice, so they had another actor do the voice.
Oh, really?
Yep, which is weird, but...
I guess that's pretty common in Hollywood, too.
Yeah, but Darth Maul... It was a missed opportunity. I'm wondering if he shows up in Obi-Wan at some point.
He's gotta. I mean, he's in Solo.
Which is fucking weird. That movie was better than it should be, but...
I really enjoyed it.
I went in with extremely low expectations.
Same.
And I wound up liking it. And I thought Alden Ehrenreich did a good job as Han Solo. But actually, Donald Glover, I was surprisingly didn't like. he was just doing an impression, and I didn't care for what they did with Lando. Fucking robots and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was too woke. I like being woke. That was too woke.
Too woke. It's the right casting choice, though, I think. Donald Glover seems like just an absolute A-plus casting on Lando.
Yeah. He's got the look.
He's got the look.
Emilia Clarke, I didn't need her in there. Whatever. I've never thought she was a good actress. Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah, I guess. I haven't really seen her in anything outside of Game of Thrones.
Well, you saw her in Solo.
That's true.
And Woody Harrelson, again, is better than he ever should be in everything he's ever done. I always think Woody Harrelson, and then I watch him like, well, yeah, it's Woody Harrelson. It's good.
Yeah, absolutely killing it as usual. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Woody Harrelson, True Detective Season 4 is a go-ahead now.
Who's the main actress?
Jodie Foster. And it's going to take place in Alaska during their 30 Days of Night.
Did you see True Detective Season 2 and 3?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 3, my ranking is 1, 3, 2.
Okay. I haven't seen 3. Season 2 was disappointing in that I wanted Season 1.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like intense occult shit. It was, what was it? Season 2 was like land deals and business.
Well, you did have the whole like sex cult
human
thing.
trafficking.
Yeah.
I remember the only scene that really sticks out to me is the one where Rachel McAdams is like on a bunch of ecstasy and she stabs her way out of that like house.
Yeah, the orgy scene where like,
that was cool.
That was fucking nuts. That or the giant shootout that comes out of nowhere and lasts for forever at the end of, I think it's one of the later episodes.
But still, compared to Season 1, not even close.
Yeah, and I think the problem with that is Season 1 was such a smash success because it had like the perfect amount of weird. Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson absolutely are dynamite on screen together.
There's a regular type dude with a big ass dick.
Yeah.
Which describes his character so much.
You have like, all right, both of them in the correct time period. Like it felt weird. They had a good villain to go after. Like everything was perfect for Season 1.
Yeah.
And I think all the criticism they got from Season 1, they directly just pumped into Season 2. Like now we have a female lead because that was one of the criticisms that there wasn't any strong female characters.
Well, the Season 1 was an exploration of masculinity.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what it's about. So there were great supporting female characters, and the way that the females are treated by the male characters is an important reflection of who they are. And those female characters are very strong in that show in Season 1. But yeah, we need a female lead. So
yeah, and then you have characters dying because that was another criticism of Season 1. I don't really want to spoil it, but it's also been out for forever. So if you haven't seen it, then that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, characters actually dying in Season 2, which I know something I read somewhere said that that was one of the big criticisms from Season 1. So it seems like you had this great success, and you're like, all right, well, now I'm going to address all these haters who didn't like my shit, and I'll give them exactly what they wanted, and it didn't work out. But
with Season 1, the creator had time to write it for years, too. There was no rush. Season 2 was like, we need it now.
Yep.
And it was a little bit more rushed. Season 3, I think I watched an episode or two and I don't remember it at all. I think I had thrown my neck out and I was just like doped up on pain pills at the time, and I don't remember it.
It's got Scoot McNairy in it.
I don't know what that means, but
that guy is.
It sounds good.
He's got the weirdest name, but he's in Narcos, Mexico. He's in *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Okay.
He's in Argo. He's in a lot of shit recently. But he is quickly becoming one of my favorite actors, and he is really good in Season 3.
Alaska is a cool spot for serial killers, for murders. It's few people spread out over a large distance.
I think they could really lean into existential horror if they wanted up there with the 30 Days a Night too.
Yeah, they have to do that.
Yeah, like get weird with it.
Yeah.
And Jodie Foster is going to be in it, and I think she's directing it.
Yeah, she's a good director.
I forget that she goes behind the camera as much as she does.
Yeah.
She's been an actress for a long fucking time.
Yeah, since she was like 12 years old in Taxi Driver, which was incredibly inappropriate. She does great. It's just like weird when you go, oh, you're playing a prostitute. As a 12-year-old. Charming.
Oh, man. No, never mind.
Speaking of 12-year-old prostitutes, so the way Popcorn Dogs work is we have no way that it works. So we're just kind of making this up as it goes along. And we decided, over much deliberation, over about 2 minutes, that we're going to rank Phase 1 of the MCU.
That's right. We did have a brief plan.
So we're just going to... I like the ranking format where we just talk about a movie and we say which one's better and that you wind up getting a list at the end.
Yeah. What is this? All right, Iron Man 1 is the start, but what's the end of Phase 1?
The Avengers.
Oh, duh. That was a dumb question.
It's not a big phase, so we'll see how long this takes us. But Iron Man 1 is the first one, came out in May of 2008, directed by Jon Favreau, of course, starring Robert Downey Jr., which was a very... it seems obvious as a casting choice now.
But back then it wasn't.
He was not poison, but he was not a well-known... Well, he was well-known and for the wrong reasons. He was not a beloved actor. He had fallen off hard times, major drug problems that people don't seem to talk about that much anymore.
Yeah.
I know he walks out of interviews if people ask him about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough when you're trying to move forward with something. It's like, hey, remember when you were a shithead? It's like, oh...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it was a really tough time for me. I don't want to talk about it. Pretty groundbreaking. Kevin Feige was in charge of it as well. He was in there from the beginning, and he was one of the main factors to get the MCU rolling. Iron Man was a pretty ballsy move. Superhero movies had been coming out before. The X-Men movies were very popular despite being made by a horrible pedophile.
That's right.
Yeah. There was the Fantastic Four films, which I don't think...
super campy and just like... They were their own thing, though.
Yeah. I thought for sure we were going to get some of that in the new Doctor Strange, some of the Fantastic Four. Because it was the multiverse of madness, so there's possibility.
I haven't seen it yet.
But then there was the Spider-Man movies, which we talked about on Popcorn Dogs last time. But Iron Man was not the big name for the MCU at the time.
No, did they have... I've never really looked into like the whole history of it's like 23 movies?
Of the MCU?
Yeah, to get to Endgame, though. Like the original run is like 22 or 23 movies.
Oh my goodness. The MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a lot now. Let's get a film list here.
Because I guess what I'm wondering is, did they have the idea for this connected universe when they pitched or went ahead with Iron Man? Because they have the post-credit scene and everything.
It was more of if this works out, it's a little fun thing and it could build up to something. They didn't know if it was going to. The first one was very much, well, if this works, it works. So they went with Iron Man and Jon Favreau, who I didn't know at the time would be the big deal that he was. He has gone on to be one of the big creative forces behind The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. He has made great contributions to the MCU. Jon Favreau is very important to how this came together. And so, Phase 1, we have Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and the Avengers. So there's 6 there. Phase 2, Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Captain America 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man. So another 6. Phase 3, we got Captain America 3, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home. That's 11, so that's at 23.
Yeah.
And now we're in Phase 4, where we got Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness so far. We're also getting Thor 4, Black Panther 2, Ant-Man 3. Yeah.
Wow.
Ant-Man's on his 3rd. That's crazy. Guardians 3, The Marvels and Fantastic Four. Allegedly, these are all happening. These could move around, though, as well. And then there's also just a massive amount of television series going on as well. But there's a lot of movies in this. Iron Man, though, started it all. And it's interesting thinking back to before the MCU, because you're a pretty big comic book guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man wasn't a big name, but maybe one of the reasons I look back is like all of these MCU people are big, important characters because of the MCU, because I wasn't reading a lot of comic books. Maybe I had this false notion of looking back like, oh, the Hulk, always one of my favorites. But maybe I didn't really have those feelings before.
Yeah, I was firmly in the DC camp, comic-wise, when Marvel started doing their whole universe. And they successfully ripped me away from DC. And then I started buying Marvel comics. And it wasn't very long after, I think it was right before Avengers, Marvel rebooted. And then you had all these origin stories again, and with like different iterations of the character. And
right before the Avengers movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it timed out pretty well. So like at my apartment right now, I have like the new origins of Thor, Wolverine, that's when they did Deadpool Kills the Universe.
Yeah.
And yeah, they really slam dunked it with that, because then they had me going to go see the movies every couple months that they would come out. And then at the same time, I would spend a ludicrous amount of money on comic books.
Comic books are extremely expensive.
Yeah, but it's like so easy to justify, because back then it was like $5 to $7 for an issue, and they would come out weekly. So like I was buying single issues every week.
Yeah.
Like after class, going to a comic shop and like.
But also, I mean, everyone that's listening, I apologize, I'm not a big comic book person, but the thought of you only get 20 new pages of a story, and I understand there's art and it takes a long time to do these things, but I need the whole story. I need to sit down and have like a full movie, instead of, another 15 minutes of the movie.
Oh no, they pack so much in those though. Like especially the ones that are done right, like each one kind of ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and then like they're short enough too where like I would reread them like 2 or 3 times a week if it was a really good one. And then you start noticing stuff, but like the Deadpool ones were great.
Yeah.
Where he just starts like he kills like Huckleberry Finn, Moby Dick.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, he kills the entire Marvel universe at one point.
I know that Santa Claus is a mutant. He's a confirmed Marvel character. He's,
No
one, of the,
shit.
he's one of the most powerful in the universe.
I wonder if he'll be in Phase 4.
That'd be awesome, dude. Tim Allen.
Oh, the Santa Claus, what would it be, 4 in Phase 4?
They're making a series now, a Disney Plus series.
With
for
Tim
the
Allen?
Santa Claus. Yeah.
I might watch it. Is it going to have dinosaurs in it?
Hopefully. Hopefully in the Allenverse. But Iron Man, we got our first bad guy is Jebediah Stone, the Big Lebowski himself.
Fucking Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. I don't have strong feelings about, what's his name? War Machine? Ironmonger?
Yeah, something like that.
Ironmonger. I think it's a great start to the MCU. I think Iron Man 1 is a very well-made, confident movie. I think it's aged fairly well.
Oh, yeah. And Robert Downey Jr. just is so fucking likable as Tony Stark.
And I guess for a lot of that movie, there wasn't really a big script either. A lot of it was them just kind of figuring out and going back and forth the day
That's
of
crazy.
and before. I've heard that Robert Downey Jr. won't say the same lines every take. He just kind of just says what comes naturally to the character. That's how the big thing, I am Iron Man, that was an improv line. That was
in Endgame?
in the first movie
Oh.
when he says it at the end. So, I mean, that's just, he is Tony Stark.
Yeah. He took that role and he really ran with it. Because now, like, I think you think of Iron Man, I just think of Robert Downey Jr. Like, I just picture him. Like,
Yeah.
he is Iron Man. The same way, like, when I think about Heath Ledger, I think of the Joker. Like, those really career-defining roles where, like, you get somebody in the right circumstance and they just absolutely kill the role.
Yeah.
He definitely...
And I think of Jared Leto and I just vomit.
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Morbius is becoming an internet sensation right now, though.
It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time. And I'm there for it. And as people were writing today, I was just reading a Reddit post and like, you guys are fucking up. They're actually going to make Morbius 2. And everyone else like, yeah, that's what we want. We want more Morb, dude.
I read last night on Reddit. I was at Finks, so I was a little drunk. But apparently they are making it.
Well, I mean, it made $1 more billion is what I read.
$1 more billion.
Yeah. I watched part of it. I watched it like the first 2/3, I think, before I just didn't finish it on my computer. And it's bad. Like, it's laughably bad. And it's not written well. I don't know what it is about Sony movies, Sony superhero movies. They're dark. Like, not necessarily dark in tone, but they're filmed really dark and uninteresting. The characters don't have charisma. Outside of like even Andrew Garfield, those Spider-Man movies he was in weren't great, but he has charisma enough to make it interesting. Where just like Morbius, like, come on, you guys are fucking desperate. You got Jared Leto Morbin on screen, like that's what we're doing this, and the ending is horrible when Michael Keaton just shows up, and for the trailers they make it look like he's a big part of the movie. He's in there for 30 seconds at most.
Oh man,
it's great. But Iron Man, great movie. Yeah, I think that the way that they show his suit and him flying around and his weapons, that's all power fantasy stuff to me. That's great.
Yeah.
Like, I've played Iron Man VR on the PSVR. I beat that fucker. And you actually like stand up to play and you have your two things and you aim down to fly. If you don't have at least one down, you fall. So you have to have like one down and you like look around and you're shooting things with your like wrist rocket. It's great. It's actually pretty cool. It's a learning curve, but so Iron Man, that's the baseline. Up next we have The Incredible Hulk. Great film. Everyone loves The Incredible Hulk.
With Edward Norton, right?
Eddie Norton.
Who was apparently such a pleasure to work with on set. They said, stay home and don't come back for the next one.
Well, he wanted to do it his way. He was involved in he was told he was allowed to be in there for the screenwriting. It's partially his screenplay, the story.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I think he's okay. I think he did I think he's a fine Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
I don't think he did a bad job. It got maybe too much of like a serious tone. I like the more cartoony Hulk that we get later on. This one was just like that super muscly, roided out veins and all that stuff. I didn't like watching him as much. Liv Tyler is fine in The Lord of the Rings. I didn't care for her in this movie.
Yeah, she's okay in The Leftovers. Well, she's all right.
She's fine, but I didn't care for her in The Incredible Hulk, really. And also Tim Roth as Abomination. He was fine. I don't have anything too negative or positive to say about a lot of this movie.
Yeah, that movie was just fine.
And
it would have been weird to see Edward Norton actually continue as the Hulk. I think it would have been weird to see the Hulk have a much bigger role.
You say that now, but
Marvel films.
You only say that now because he's gone and Mark Ruffalo is amazing.
Yeah,
but it's funny that almost everything in the MCU has gone fairly according to plan, except their second movie, which it's got the Edward Norton who decried the film publicly. He's like, this is not a good movie. I don't like the way it turned out. It's not a good look, but Samuel Jackson does show up at the end. He's like, I'm making the Avengers. It's like, cool, man. That's good for you. And I mean, I don't have a ton to say about The Incredible Hulk. I'm happy Tim Roth's coming back for She-Hulk.
I think, I love Tim Roth. I don't really have much to say about this movie because I don't think I've seen it in like almost 10 years.
I will always love The Incredible Hulk jumping and traversing great distances. That's just another power fantasy thing that it's like very cool to me. I remember as a kid thinking when this came out in, what was it? This came out in 2008. So yes, when I was an impressionable 18, 19-year-old. That's just power fantasy stuff. Maybe I was thinking more of Ang Lee's Hulk from 2005.
That's got Eric Bana.
And that was an okay movie too.
Yeah, my uncle took me to see that in theaters.
It's very odd that the guy that made Brokeback Mountain is like,
that's the same guy? What?
He's like, I need to make the Hulk now. Yeah, Hulk. Not a great name either, but we like Iron Man more than the Incredible Hulk.
Definitely.
I can safely assume that. And up next, May 7th, 2010, Jon Favreau returns to make Iron Man 2.
All right, now Iron Man 2 is the one with the wrestler, Mickey Rourke, in it, correct?
Mm-hmm. This was a hard sell to me.
Yeah.
You have a half-naked man in bondage with electric whips is the bad guy, and there was like a fight scene at a racetrack.
Yeah, in Monaco, like Formula One or something. Yeah, but we got the briefcase suit in that same scene.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
His suit has gotten smaller and smaller out of necessity. Iron Man's genius is a little suspect to me at times. It just invents time travel because he needs to. Okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah, I got it. Mickey Rourke hates this movie. He doesn't like what they wound up doing with his character.
Damn.
I think they filmed a lot more scenes with him, and they wound up cutting a lot of it. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because it wasn't interesting. I don't even remember the story of this one.
Isn't he like... He wants to kill Iron Man because somebody made a suit or something?
His name is Vanko.
And he wants his bird.
The media covered blah, blah, blah. Palladium core in the arc reactor keeps him alive, is poisoning him. Stark's rival, Justin Hammer.
Oh, that's right. Sam Rockwell has more.
Sam Rockwell's amazing.
Yeah. I will watch anything that man does.
He is always charismatic. You've seen the movie Moon?
Yeah, that's great.
Moon is fantastic. I hope they bring Justin Hammer back in some way because he was always good. Oh, yes. James Rhodes was recast from...
Yeah, he was from Terrence
Howard.
Yeah,
and now he is
Don Cheadle.
Hashtag my Cheadle. Love that guy.
I think that was a good casting change. I love Cheadle a lot more than
I don't think
Howard.
I don't think Howard realized when he was threatening he needs more money that he is not the star of the film.
Yeah.
And maybe he's kicking himself now because he would have had guaranteed big acting roles the rest, like until now.
Yeah.
At least 15 years later because Iron Machine's getting his own series, I guess.
No shit.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he's also in, who's the Falcon guy?
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah. Aren't they doing something?
He's making Twisted Metal.
He's making Twisted Metal?
He's making a Twisted Metal series, yeah.
How's that going to work?
I know, right? I don't know. Let's figure out who this Vanko guy is. In Russia, the media covers Tony Hawk's disclosure of the identity of Iron Man. Ivan Vanko? We'll go Vanko. His father, Anton Vanko, was a former Stark Industries employee, has died. And so he's mad about something. I don't know. Yeah. This is Natasha Romanoff's first time in the series as well.
Yep.
Black Widow makes an appearance. And also, Jarvis is in here. Was he in the first Iron Man? I think he was.
Yeah, and it's Paul Bettany's been Jarvis the whole time, right?
I think he is one of the only actors that has been in every phase of the MCU.
Yeah, and he was really... I read an interview with him, and he was like really down on his luck because he did a movie, Priest.
Yeah.
That did not do well. And people were like, yo, your career is like...
It's done, dude.
You don't recover from that sort of thing. You were already like mid-level as is. Yeah, so like that was your chance and you missed it. And he was really down on himself. And they offered him the role of Jarvis.
Which was recording lines in a sound booth for like a couple days.
And that's what he thought. He was like, man, my career really has hit the shitter because now I'm not even on screen. I'm just recording voice.
And then he's just making out with Elizabeth Olsen 15 years later.
Look at our little champion go.
And now he's like Have you seen WandaVision?
I've seen like half of it.
Okay. Well, I won't say what happens at the end, but Vision has a very unique thing going on. He's a cool character. They really underutilized him.
I really enjoyed Vision all the way through the MCU films, and I'm going to jump ahead to.
We can talk about anything.
Yeah. So, but when fucking Thanos rips that stone out of his forehead,
very cool.
It was cool, but like that's an incredibly violent scene. Going back and rewatching it, like I mean, Vision doesn't have any blood to spill or anything, but like he fucking dies gruesomely.
Yeah.
He just rips that thing out of his head. Like the special effects on his face and everything, they really made that violent.
Just pop it right out.
Yeah. Oh man, that's one of the deaths that kind of fucks me up a little bit when I think about it, because it was like, I mean, I'm not saying it was overly graphic or anything, but like I cared a lot about the character, and the stakes were so big at the end of the MCU.
Yeah.
That happening, I was like, God,
some characters had to die.
Yeah.
Some characters got to die, even if it's the one without blood. But
that was great.
Yeah, Ivan Vanko has electric whips. I don't have much to say.
And Hammer brings him on to try and make a suit.
Yeah. I don't have strong feelings about this film. At the very end, Agent Phil Coulson from S.H.I.E.L.D. reports the discovery of a large hammer at the bottom of a crater in a desert in New Mexico.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's a cool post-credit scene. Also, I remember back then, I'm like, Thor is stupid. Like, why would anyone want to... Thor is like a god. I didn't even know he was like a Marvel character. I thought he was just like some Norse mythology. I didn't know that he was like a big MCU mainstay. And then you see his outfits in the original like comics. It's like he looks like a ding dong in a helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth has done a lot for the character. Although back then, not great.
No, I remember watching the first Thor and being like, meh.
Yeah. But Iron Man 2, would you put it above or below Incredible Hulk?
I'd put it above. I do look back on that movie fondly.
I'm on the fence, so I'll go with you. Okay. I could probably talk my way into either one, but if you feel strongly, I support that. So
yeah, I'm pretty confident with putting it above the Hulk.
Iron Man 2, and I don't think Iron Man 2 had any subtitle, which is odd. A lot of them have like little subtitles at the end these days. Up next, Thor. Yeah, I worked out today. I'm feeling a little Thor right now. I'm sorry. Thor is interesting. It is directed by Kenneth Branagh. You'll know him as Remus Lupin from Harry Potter 2. Not Remus, Gilderoy Lockhart. Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter 2.
Oh, really?
Yep, the Ding Dong Dark Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher who is...
he directed Thor?
He directed Thor. Kenneth Branagh is a well-known actor. He just directed quite a bit too. He's directed, huge Shakespeare guy. So a lot of what he does is Shakespeare. Let me pull up his filmography real quick. I'm curious. Directed Mary Shelley's Frankenstein's not good. He did like Hamlet, Henry V, The Magic Flute. Yeah, he does. It's all Shakespeare. He did Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. He did Cinderella, Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile. Those are recent ones, but I don't love a lot of his directing. But he's a very over-the-top actor. He doesn't act in this, so we don't need to talk about that. But so too many Dutch angles in this film for me.
That was what I was gonna say first. Way too many.
For no reason. It's like, did no one balance the camera?
Yeah. I don't like them ever, hardly ever. If I see a Dutch angle, they do have their place and they do work.
They need to be used sparingly and then for effect. Like if you're watching a horror film and then out of nowhere there's like a Dutch angle that can be incredibly off-putting and
it pulls you right out.
It can be used very well, but if you have Dutch angles for no reason, if I was a cinematographer on set and Kenneth Branagh comes over, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna just tilt it like 30 degrees," I'd be like, "We just did that."
Yeah, but we're going to do it the other way now. We're going to go the other way.
Just keep tilting your head. This is the only Thor movie where they do dye his eyebrows blonde as well.
It looked horrible.
It looks very weird.
He did his whole design, like makeup and wardrobe for the first Thor movie, I thought was really weird.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't. It just always looked odd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his costume isn't great either. Mm. It's probably a little closer to the original. I don't know what it is about MCU projects now, because their costumes now, they go for the ultra retro ones and they look great. Like for some reason they can pull off the old ones and they're like, oh, it looks weird and great and that's fun. But I don't know. I think it was in the midst of like the late 2000s. Everything was trying to be over the top cool looking. And I think that made it look really douchey.
Yeah. I think they really kind of swung and missed on this one.
Big red cape. This also introduced Tom Hiddleston's Loki, who I think that's one of those situations where you cast someone in a role and they're so over the top perfect and great for it that like, oh shit, we got to do more with him. We got to do more with him.
Like a Jesse Pinkman scenario.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he was great. We didn't plan on keeping him around for another
but now we're
season.
We're going to move some stuff around and you're sticking around.
And he's getting his own movie at the end of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was charismatic from the beginning, and Loki's costume has always worked for me. Like the big silly horns and the green. You also had Idris Elba as the guy who guards the Bifrost.
Yeah.
There is Natalie Portman, of course, is Jane. She's fine.
Doesn't it have one of the Skarsgårds in it too?
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
He's fun. I think he's a great scientist.
Yeah, he was great in Chernobyl.
Yeah, he was
so good.
Oh, he was very good. I don't love Kat Dennings ever in the MCU.
Okay.
She's better in WandaVision, but I don't know. Her voice and her, like, I'm the off-the-wall supporting sidekick character, I don't love. You like her, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, my man. Just go watch Two Broke Girls. Natalie Portman is fine as a love interest. She's better than most love interests. The MCU, Red Letter Media calls it always having a case of the not gays, where you can't just have Doctor Strange. Like, we got to have a character that he has a crush on. It's like, can he just be Doctor Strange? Nope. We have the not gays. He's not gay. It's like, does this matter? But as far as love interest, I mean, she's a great actress, and I think her and Hemsworth have a chemistry which helps out a lot. And Chris Hemsworth, despite this not being a comedic role yet, there are moments where he's just using his comedic chops because he is a very funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not fair. That dude is the most ripped, cut, badass Australian dude, and he's funny.
Yeah. He's playing life on easy mode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually auditioned for this role and lost it. He didn't get the role of Thor, but he had worked with, who's the guy who directed Buffy?
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, who's a very bad guy, it's been discovered now.
But yeah, that sucks. He's kind of a piece of shit.
He is kind of a piece of shit, but you've seen Cabin in the Woods, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So Cabin in the Woods was filmed before Thor, although it came out afterwards.
No shit. And now I'm connecting the dots because Chris Hemsworth is definitely in that movie.
Yeah, and he was expressing to Joss Whedon, who was one of the creative forces behind Cabin in the Woods. He's like, I want to be in this MCU, but I botched my audition. And Joss Whedon made a call over to Kevin Feige. He's like, you should really give him another chance because he's super funny. So Cabin in the Woods is kind of the reason that Hemsworth got the Thor role at all, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cabin in the Woods was stuck in hell for a while.
That is such a good movie. Mm-hmm. One of the first movies I ever bought on Blu-ray.
I met the director in an elevator at the movie theater I was working at. We had an advanced screening there and did a Q&A afterwards. It was really cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
If I had known at the time that I was going to be a big fan, I would have said something more. But I met George Lucas there. That was a good one.
Damn.
That was a big one.
That's a big get.
Yeah. The bad guy in this...
Just giant robot or god or furnace head?
Destroyer. Seemingly indestructible.
His name is
Sends the Destroyer, an automaton to pursue and kill Thor. That's actually it. I'm surprised. Let's look up Destroyer here on Wikipedia. He doesn't get his own page. He's so small.
Horrible villain.
Yeah. Should have by Odin to stop threats such as the Frost Giants. Wait, is this the MCU? Okay, the comic book version, Destroyer has his own page. He is an enchanted suit of armor forged by the king of the Norse gods, Odin. Doesn't sound too interesting. There's also, what is it, the Warriors 3 in Thor, which I don't think were that great. They were pretty underused.
Yeah.
And that's not great, but it's whatever. I mean, I don't care. But yeah, Destroyer is your big bad guy.
Yeah. Didn't work. Too many Dutch angles. I just remember not enjoying this movie almost at all.
Surprisingly, I feel the same. The only thing I really remember liking was him throwing a coffee mug on the ground.
Another.
Yeah, like that. I'm like, that's hilarious. I want to throw glasses on the ground. And then I was working at a pizza place at the time. And my boss, the owner of the pizza place, was a big drunk dude. Dave, if you're listening, you're the fucking man. I love you. But I remember we were out at the bar. And, he's not on Patreon. Dave can't hear this, but... he would just get drunk at the bar next to our pizza place, and he'd just start throwing glasses because he thought it was funny. He'd do it all the time, and then he just apologize in the morning. I'm like, Dave, you're a monster. You're a terrible guy. But yeah, I remember throwing a coffee mug was funny. The post-credit scene, Stellan Skarsgård character is taken to a SHIELD facility where Nick Fury opens a briefcase and asks him to study a mysterious cube-shaped object, which Fury says may hold untold power. It turns out Loki is controlling Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, goodness. And yeah, that's Thor.
If you would have told me during this Thor that Thor would be my favorite MCU character, I would have told you were drunk.
Well, especially after the next one, because Thor: The Dark World, I think it's a bad rap. It's still a bad movie.
It definitely gets a bad rap.
But it's not as bad as people say it is. I watched it the other day. I'm like, it's pretty good for what I expected.
I told you about the time I watched it, right? I was on a plane and I was watching a pirated copy on my laptop.
Okay.
And I torrented it, but I didn't torrent the subtitles.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you told me that.
So when what are they, aliens or frost giants or whatever?
The Dark Elves.
The Dark Elves, that's right.
That's a hard sell right there just by itself.
When they were talking, I didn't have any subtitles. And the first time it happened, it's not a very long scene that they're talking. And I was like, oh, that is a really creative, interesting choice for me to not be able to understand the Dark Elves. I think that's really cool. I don't speak their language, so I don't know what they said. That was awesome. And then
it's more interesting than what they actually do. Yeah.
As the movie went on, the scenes got longer. And then it was the second or third time it happened. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm missing.
Yeah,
I'm missing a good portion.
Something's not right here. And it's a shame. Christopher Eccleston, I'm a big fan of him as an actor. He was the Ninth Doctor in Doctor Who. Doctor. That's my Doctor, too. Or Capaldi, half and half. But he also plays the bad guy in Fast and the Furious. No. Gone in 60 Seconds. Gone in 60 Seconds. He's the
Holy shit, he does.
He is, yeah.
He's also fantastic in The Leftovers on HBO.
And it's great you said fantastic because that's his catchphrase is the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're bringing the Rose character back, allegedly, but she's played by a young black person. And I think this might be a transsexual person.
How are you going to bring Rose back without Billy Piper?
Well, I hate Rose. If you go back and rewatch him, you'll realize Rose is a horrible character. Just openly cheating on her boyfriend and doing shitty things. And she's vapid and dumb. And Donna and the 10th Doctor are coming back for the new season.
Really?
For at least the anniversary. There's been footage of those two running around together, as well as Wilfred, her grandpa.
No shit.
And he's looking old in a wheelchair. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Wilf was one of the best parts of the 10th Doctor, I thought. And Donna is my favorite companion of all.
Rory and Amy.
Yeah,
I thought their dynamic with Smith was great. And Angels Take Manhattan, I could rewatch that episode every day and it would never get old.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Doctor Who. I do love me some Doctor. Jodie Whittaker's never worked for me.
Really?
Nope.
I haven't seen anything Capaldi and on.
You haven't seen Capaldi?
I haven't even finished Matt Smith's transformation.
That's because Matt Smith isn't that good. He's fine. I think he had bad writing, a lot of it. I don't hate his Doctor, but I don't love it. I wished
him and Tennant would switch. I feel like Tennant would have really benefited from the increased production budget and the better effects.
Tennant, I think, is fine wherever he is, though.
They're all, Eccleston and Tennant are my two favorite.
Dude, Capaldi's the man, though.
Capaldi's in an episode with Tennant?
In the Pompeii.
Yeah. Was that Tennant?
Yeah. But no, Capaldi's the shit. Old man, curmudgeon Doctor is the best Doctor. And there's no I hate when the Doctor needs a girlfriend. It's a case of the not gays.
Yeah, no,
And
he just needs.
And this one, he's just old man, and he's got more of a fatherly.
Could we make him an alcoholic and give him like a grandson?
He does go through like a midlife crisis where he starts playing electric guitar, and he doesn't have a sonic screwdriver. He has sonic sunglasses. It's really funny. But all right, the Thor movie. I'm
gonna put it at the bottom for me.
I
do think the Incredible Hulk is better than it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's down there, but you're right. I prefer the Incredible Hulk. Okay. Up next, we have Captain America, the First Avenger. This was directed by Joe Johnston, whoever the fuck that is. This has Chris Evans starring as Captain America. Perfect casting.
Yep.
Perfect casting.
Nailed it.
This holds up special effects wise. They're very wise in you need to fall in love with scrawny, tiny, little Captain America. You need him to jump on that grenade, and you're just like, this dude is the ultimate good person.
Yeah.
And I just got chills thinking about how like cool he is as a character. Also, in social media, he's always just saying like, in the real world, he's just like a classy dude. Like, this is wrong. He's Captain America in the real world, which is much like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. You do need, in a lot of these instances, actors who are just that good at, they are the character. Like Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
He just, I can't imagine any other way. Chris Evans is great. Fucking World War II Nazis. Like science fiction weird Nazis are some of like the coolest like bad guys.
Yep. And you have, what's his face playing Red Skull?
Hugo Weaving.
Yep.
Very good. I love the super soldier process. Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, great. I remember like, I get it. I see what you're up to here, Chris Evans. I appreciate that. And dude was buff when he came out of that like super soldier
just
serum. And
straight yoked.
Dude, he has bigger titties than I've ever seen. Like those just packs, those monsters.
Dude, he hit that superhero gym hard.
Oh man, I mean, I wish I could get paid like $1 million to work out for 3 months. I would do that so hard.
Well, it's like Mac from Always Sunny.
Yeah, his quote's great.
His quote is great, and I feel like it directly applies here.
He's like, I don't see why people say this is an unachievable lifestyle. Just get paid millions of dollars, have someone tell you what to eat, have someone tell you how to work out all day, and never eat any sugars or breads ever. This is an easy, obtainable thing for anyone.
Yeah.
I think surprising casting that comes through is Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier. Although he was just Bucky Barnes at the point.
He's always been a very likable actor in whatever role I think he's been in.
There's something about like his face. It doesn't seem castable. It doesn't seem like big movie star.
But it seems familiar when it's there. Like when you see him on screen, you're like, oh, hey, old friend.
He's great. He's old reliable. He's never someone you consider, but he always does a really good job.
He plays Tommy Lee in Pam and Tommy on Hulu.
Yeah.
And I think he did a great job.
And I'm going to make a recommendation here. If you have Hulu, check out the movie Fresh. Fresh. It's about dating and maybe cannibalism. And Sebastian Stan is one of the main characters. He's electric. He's so good. And I think this is one of those situations too where, all right, I'm gonna be in this movie. He doesn't realize though that this is gonna be like a 5-movie long thing. Plus, you're getting your own spin-off series someday. It's crazy the trajectory of the MCU. And this is when, like, at this point, they know it works. Iron Man was great. Incredible Hulk was still pretty great.
Iron Man 2 was even better than 1 box office wise.
And even if Thor wasn't a great movie, it was fine. But these are all making money, and they're like, "Oh,
we're onto something."
And at this point, they're like, "We could just keep doing this." And it might be the biggest connected franchise. It probably is at this point.
It has to be.
Yeah. I was surprised to learn that Friday the 13th is one of the most profitable franchises of all time.
Well, there's like 1 million of them.
I know. Carly and I have seen all of them. except Freddy versus Jason. We're saving that after we watch Nightmare on Elm Streets, all of them, which we have 2 of those left. And then we're going to penultimate after watching like 20 movies is going to be Freddy versus Jason, which I will say Freddy Krueger is a million times better than Jason Voorhees.
Absolutely.
When he just comes by and he just like, "What's up, bitch?" I was like, Carly and I are like, yeah, he said bitch. We like that. But Captain America, you got Hugo Weaving as evil Nazi scientist. Why does his face turn that way?
I can't remember. Doesn't he try to do something with the superhero serum or something, like the early iteration of it or something?
I'm not sure.
He's like preparing his body for something.
And it's also got that dude who he becomes the Nazi computer robot guy.
Yeah,
the little guy.
He's in Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Is he in this one? Stanley Tucci's in this one. I like Stanley Tucci. I forget that other guy's name, but
I feel like after Thor, they kind of took their lumps. Thor still made money, but I think it did get shit on for how kind of like meh it was overall.
Yeah.
And it feels like with Winter Soldier, it was the first time since an Iron Man movie where this felt like big time. Like, oh shit, we got Captain America up. Like, let's get it.
So, box office. This one made $370 million. So these are. Let me go back. I'm curious. I want to see this now. Iron Man, the box office, $585 million for Iron Man 1.
Damn.
Incredible Hulk, box office, $264 million, about half. Iron Man 2, $623 million, big. What are your guesses for Thor? More than Incredible Hulk or less?
More than Incredible Hulk.
$449 million. It did pretty well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, Captain America made less than that, $370 million. That's surprising. Very fun movie. I like that they address what's wrong with the character and that he was made for wartime propaganda back in the day.
Yeah.
That's like the birth of his character. Like, we need someone who's America and he's just up there. He's on the posters. And I like that they do that. And then they also have him like, I don't want to be here. I want to be fighting. I want to be doing good work instead of just taking pictures.
And like dancing around on stage.
I like, that's a smart way that they can go and address these characters, which we'll find out with Iron Man 3 later on. It's like, you're going to take the Mandarin, which is a pretty tough character to sell regardless. You're going to cast Ben Kingsley to play the Mandarin, but then with Shang-Chi, they actually make it into a joke and they fix it a little bit. But you see Shang-Chi?
Mm-mm.
It's really good. Yeah, man. I like World War II. Hydra is exciting and interesting.
Yeah, I think for Phase 1, Thor Ragnarok is Phase 3, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the best Marvel movie in my opinion. But for the first 2 phases, I think arguably Captain America has the best 2.
I will say as far as the standalones for the first phase, I do prefer Captain America more than all the other ones. This is above all the other movies to me. And partially because Chris Evans is amazing, partially because it's exciting that he doesn't have big superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's grounded in reality, which I can appreciate.
And he's just a super likable character from the jump. Like you said earlier, you actually care about scrawny Captain America.
Yeah.
And so when he becomes buff Captain America,
you have to fall in love with scrawny Captain America first. Yeah.
Otherwise it doesn't work.
Yep.
Then it just doesn't work.
Yeah. And perfect. And then he gets frozen.
Which I'll buy.
Yep.
I'll buy.
Sure. He's got to save that dance for Peggy Carter, which it is one of those funny things, though, where he's like, I knew a girl for a week one time, and she's going to be my lost love for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I get it, I guess. Like,
things were different in the 40s.
Yeah, I guess that is old school, like, old-fashioned romantic. It's also weird, though, that later on they're like, wait a second, you're Peggy's granddaughter? You want to hang out? It's like very weird, you know?
I knew your grandma for like a week.
Well, and also with the time travel stuff, is that actually his granddaughter then? Maybe he doesn't know. Like, I don't know how the time travel winds up working.
Because he goes back.
He does, and he stays there, and he grows up. And he like ages back there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a different timeline. This is before the MCMU, the multiverse, happened.
So like, yeah, I wonder if that is his kid. It might be.
But yes, he is frozen. The Tesseract is used by is more properly introduced leading into this. I think we are in agreement that this is above Iron Man 1.
Oh yeah, this is top of the list so far.
Okay. One thing though that these movies don't have, iconic theme music.
Yeah, no swelling scores.
Batman,
Got it.
Superman, fucking got it.
Yeah.
Not so much the Zack Snyder ones, but even them, they're better than nothing. Iron Man doesn't have like the Iron Man theme. Captain America doesn't have like the it doesn't got nothing. The only one that does is the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do they ever use Black Sabbath for Iron Man?
They do.
In which film? Because I was debating this.
I think it's the credits for the first movie. It's in the credits after he says, I am Iron Man. And then I think it's in the credits.
Okay. I was going to say, because
it's a little on the nose and kind of cheesy though, you know?
I was having this debate with somebody the other day and I couldn't remember if they used it or not, but I think they absolutely should have. And I think you're right. I think they do.
It's like if I make a movie called Man, I Feel Like a Woman, that song from Shania Twain better be in there somewhere.
Or what are you doing?
What are you doing? You're making an unrelated piece of media about Man, I Feel Like a Woman? That'd be a different thing in the woke culture today. That's probably like an iconic song for trans folks. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably a big hit in like the drag scene. I don't know. We could, if anyone knows us listening, let us know. If Dylan was here, he would know.
Yeah.
Dylan, we don't know if Dylan's alive out there. If anyone's seen him, we put his picture on some beer cans because no one has milk cartons anymore. But
yeah. I hung some on telephone poles around,
have you seen
Humboldt Park.
I don't know what to say. Not portly. Disheveled, drunk gentleman, but goes by the name Dylan, will respond to anything.
We should just drive.
Do not approach if you see him. Call us first.
Possibly wearing a floral Hawaiian shirt, smoking a pipe.
He's wearing his lemon shirt today. I already seen him.
Yeah.
He will look very confused today.
Could just drive around the neighborhood clinking bottles like the Warriors. Like, Dylan,
come here.
Come out to play.
So May 4th, 2012, we get the Avengers movie.
I was in film school when this came out, and it was a big fucking deal.
It is a big deal.
It was all anybody talked about at film school.
I mean, the thought of this happening back then seems impossible. It seems more possible these days with what they do, but it's one thing to get movie stars to star in their own movies, to get them all on set and to make the money work out to where they can all have a piece of the pie and have enough to put on a big spectacle. This was a crossover event unlike anything else. I mean, not Freddy versus Jason. As far as getting different like series to culminate, Alien versus Predator, I mean, those aren't great. And to get a crossover with multiple heroes, exciting. It also always brings up the problem then. I guess there's a giant running around San Francisco fighting some Ant-Man guy, but we're busy today. It's like...
Yeah.
I was watching Moon Knight, and there are two giant gods fighting over a pyramid. And I was like, I feel like someone would be here.
Yeah, Suicide Squad, like... That monster was way too big for the Suicide Squad. Where is Superman?
Did you see Suicide Squad? Not Suicide Squad. Peacemaker?
I saw like half.
How have you not finished Peacemaker? Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, it was pretty good from what I saw.
At the end, after like the big final battle, the Justice League show up and they actually get the Flash and Aquaman. He goes, "You're late, fuckheads," or something like that. And he says like, "Go fuck a fish" or something to Aquaman. It's great. But I mean, at least they acknowledge like, yeah, if there are big superheroes, they should be there.
Yeah.
I understand Captain America not being able to get there fast, but I mean,
the Hulk and Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thor.
Plus, if you have Nick Fury coordinating things, you'd think that once there's a hero in every fucking city, which is something that show The Boys, you watch that?
Oh, yeah.
They do really great. They're like, all right, we're moving you to this city now, Deep. You're going to be in like Podunk, Michigan.
Yep.
Great water park. You're going to love it here. It's just funny, like looking at his franchises and like every city needs a hero. At least they address it there. But the Avengers, I was a manager at a movie theater when this came out. So it was a Showplace Icon, St. Louis Park. And we had the VIP seating, so we had like big, luxurious like recliners and like big, like spacious rooms up there. And I got free movies. I saw this, I think, 4 or 5 times in theaters because my girlfriend at the time was like, let's just go watch Avengers because it's free. And we're like, yeah, okay.
Why not?
And it was great. Masterful. It's really masterful the way that every character gets their moment too. They all have like their little lines and they're all integral in fight scenes and big scenes. Even Hawkeye, this is Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner's first time here. I think an unsung hero. I appreciate that he doesn't ever want to wear his
no sleeves.
Yeah, no sleeves, but also just like, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not. Yeah. I'm more of a soldier, just like I'm a regular guy. I'm not a superhero, but I'm really good at shooting arrows. There's a great SNL skit when this movie came out, and Jeremy Renner was the host, and whoever was playing, Kevin was like, "You go there, you go there," and he's like, "Hawkeye, go up there." And he's like, "I'm out of arrows. I only brought like 20."
That was in the back of my mind the entire time I was watching Avengers too.
I got nothing. I'm just gonna go. I got nothing else I can really do here. And yeah, Avengers is great. Loki is a very effective villain. The action scenes, like where they're on the helicarrier and it's going down and they're all doing their little individual things to try and keep it together.
Yep.
The memes are already heavy in this, like Captain America. Like I understood that reference. They're all surprisingly well-defined characters. Black Widow, at this point, they still didn't know what they were really doing with her.
Yep.
Mark Ruffalo does make his debut as the Incredible Hulk, or just the Hulk, or Bruce Banner. I don't know what you want to call him. He's Bruce. And the Hulk has had an interesting transformation throughout there, because this one was very much, I have zero control of the big guy, and whenever he hulks out, it seems extremely dangerous to everybody. Like if Hawkeye, he won't attack the Black Widow. She's one of the only things that can calm him down. But I have a feeling if Hawkeye was just standing in the wrong spot, the Hulk would, at this point, would just kill him for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I get. I mean, Thor gets punched very hard by him as a joke, which is funny. If he did that to anyone else, it'd be pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember because the Hulk like brings down and tries to smash Thor and Thor like blocks it. I think it's like one of the first times too. And all of a sudden now you got this crossover happening where you're seeing arguably the two most powerful people we know going at it.
Thor and Hulk?
Yep.
Yeah.
And when Thor, blocks that attack, I remember being in the theater like, oh shit.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Captain America's like, ugh. And Hawkeye is like, I shouldn't be here. And also, I mean, Black Widow, she's in way over her head as well. But it's an iconic film. The little scene where they're all like loading their weapons or swinging their hammers. Yeah. Great. I mean, it's stupid and it's silly. There's always in the back of my head, I'm like, they all just landed right there and they're just going to like, this looks so cool if we did this right now, guys.
Yeah.
I had an issue in Avengers Endgame. There's one shot where literally every female superhero is the same part of the field and they all like do a hero pose together. I'm like, there's a battle going on.
Yeah, we ain't got time for this. What are you doing it for the gram?
I'm like, couldn't you not just be badass because you're there? Do you need to all stand together? But I tried to say this on a podcast with Better in 3D with a lot of women around and they're like, you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. It is important, but also I just have an issue with like these superhero shots happen because there's a battle going on.
It's the same thing in a big battle scene where like someone dies and that person will just drop their sword and then like openly weep for their dead friend. Yeah. And it's like, there's a battle going on, but no one ever kills that person. I wonder if there was some like,
don't shoot. They're having a moment.
Hold on.
Yep.
Homie's sad.
Yep.
He's got to get it together.
He's got 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. He's on Ghoul. He's on timeout.
Yes. Loki's a good villain. I don't have an issue. This is also one of the first big instances of the sky, the open sky bomb, a big hole in the sky, laser sky, whatever they want to call it, where, all right, there's a portal and the Chitauri are coming through, which I don't think we really see much of the Chitauri after this.
No.
They get mentioned a lot in Spider-Man Homecoming because Michael Keaton's character, the Vulture, gets his technology from them after this battle. He's doing cleanup in the city. Hulk is very fun. I remember he has that great line.
That's my secret.
I'm always angry.
Yeah.
And I was delivering beer, and me and my buddy we were the two delivery drivers, and we were always hungover. And someone asked us one day, like, you guys drank a lot last night. How do you guys look like you're doing so fine? I'm like, I said, that's my secret. I'm always hungover. And I was like, yes, got it. Yeah. I think it's great. I remember probably one of my favorite moments is the Hulk smashing Loki and saying puny god.
Yep.
The Hulk is obscenely powerful. Yes.
Absolutely.
I don't know who is... Captain Marvel is stronger than him now. Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are two of the most powerful beings in the MCU right now. I don't know. You would know more than me. I feel like they're at the top, though.
Yeah. I'd put both of them up there. I haven't seen anything really outside of Endgame, though, because I've kind of got Marvel fatigue.
Yeah.
Once they started adding the television shows, like I'm totally down to watch a movie every couple months, but like now you're starting to throw shows at me, and now I have to have a Disney subscription 9 times out of 10 to watch said stuff.
But they do have Star Wars, too.
I know.
The Mandalorian, Ahsoka's getting her own show. That's going to be dope.
I haven't seen any of this because I don't have Disney, but I got it now.
Yeah. All of the Star Wars stuff has been good so far. Book of Boba Fett, not as good, but still good. Falcon and Winter Soldier has been the worst and still has great moments. WandaVision, I loved. Moon Knight, I really liked as well. I really liked Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac's the man. Which one am I missing? What If was bad. The animated one was bad.
I haven't heard many good things about that.
Yeah. Avengers made $1.5 billion.
Yeah, I remember that was crazy. I went and saw it multiple times, and I went with like groups of people, and it was cool like going with all these different film students because like everybody had their niche and like what they wanted to do, and for me it was writing. Mm-hmm. And like one of my friends I went with was a DP, so he wanted to do a lot of lighting and set design.
Yeah.
My other friend was all about like props. Like he wanted to design the set to make it look as aesthetically pleasing as possible, but he was always going out and antiquing and looking for props and shit that he could bring home and eventually stick in a movie somewhere.
Yeah.
And going to go see this huge, massive event of a movie with all these like-minded creative individuals several times and getting a different mixed bag of people that I was going to go see it with. I try not to let that bias of like just how awesome a time in my life was reflect on my ranking of this movie, but I went and saw this movie a lot just solely for that reason. Going to go see it and then grabbing a beer afterwards and just talking about all your different little facets of the movie that everybody paid attention to.
I saw this 4 times in theaters.
I want to say I saw it like 4 or 5.
Yeah. It's that good. It's that fun. It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon with live action. Seeing all your heroes working together is a strange thing.
I was so hyped when they did the hero shot because at this point, like we've established that everybody's got chemistry. Like this, it's been a fun movie up till now, and then once you get to the end, and it's time to just wreck shit and go hard and build up to that climax. They nailed it. Like, I think this movie could honestly be like a 9 out of 10.
That being said, are we saying this is number 1?
I think it's gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't, if we were ranking Phase 2, I could confidently say I wouldn't put Avengers 2 at the top of that list. But I think in Phase 1, I think it's definitely the best.
So our ranking for the Phase 1 Marvel movies. In 6th place, we have Thor. Sorry, buddy, you'll get better. Number 5, Incredible Hulk, Eddie Norton. Number 4, Iron Man 2. Number 3, Iron Man 1. Number 2, Captain America. And number 1, The Avengers. Very good. I think that's a pretty great list.
Yeah.
And we're going to build on this the next time we talk about Phase 2, and we're going to eventually have all of the Marvel movies ranked.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Eventually. But you have to catch up in about 40 hours of MCU at some point.
Oh, yeah. It's been on well, now that I got Disney Plus, I could easily do it. But it's been on my back burner for so long.
Other shows. Loki has his own show.
I forgot about that.
It's pretty good. It's fine. It's not my favorite. Hawkeye, surprisingly pretty good.
He has his own show now, too?
It's already done. It's surprisingly pretty good.
So they have Hawkeye, Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
WandaVision, What If, and Moon Knight. Other shows that are coming still.
Damn.
Miss Marvel comes out June 8th. It's going to be the first one kind of geared more towards youth, towards the kids. It's like not a little kid, I don't know, probably like a 14-year-old superhero. Mm-hmm. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I'm very excited for this. The CG's horrible, and it looks like Sex and the City meets Daredevil.
I'm here for it.
And I'm there for it. There's you seen the trailer?
I saw snippets of the trailer. I try not to watch too many trailers.
That's good.
I feel like they spoil too much nowadays.
The whole thing. But there's a joke about her fucking a guy as She-Hulk. I'm like, this looks bad. And just the premise of her character is she defends heroes and villains when they're in superhero trouble. Interesting.
This could be awesome.
It could be awesome, and I'm there regardless. Untitled Halloween special. They haven't said what it is yet. It's like a werewolf thing. Let me see what we know about this. Gael Garcia Bernal stars in this special. I like him as an actor. The Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night is the name applied to two fictional characters who are werewolves in the MCU. There's an untitled Halloween special about a werewolf character.
That's going to be cool.
I think it's going to be setting up for the Blade movie, which is exciting. Guardians of the Galaxy gets a holiday special directed by James Gunn this year.
Nice. That's going to be, that's
fun and silly.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, which is starring Emilia Clarke.
She's coming to the MCU?
Everyone is.
Yeah.
It's starring Nick Fury, and Ben Mendelsohn returns as Talos from the Captain Marvel movie. Martin Freeman and Don Cheadle are also in there. A sect of shape-shifting aliens, the Skrulls, have infiltrated Earth. Ironheart, which is going to be the new little girl Iron Man character. Sounds fine. I don't care. That's fine. I don't know anything about her, but just a sec. So many things. Okay. Armor Wars, starring the Cheadle.
Okay, we're still going.
An untitled Wakanda series. I don't know about that. It just says untitled Wakanda series. But the next movie coming out, Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm fucking there.
So psyched for this.
Taika Waititi can do no wrong.
No, he can't.
And it looks fucking good.
Gorr
the God Butcher is one of the most stunning looking villains I've seen in the MCU so far. He looks terrifying.
I didn't watch the trailer, but I got it spoiled for me. I mean, he's in the trailer, I guess.
Yeah. What's the coolest thing about, you haven't seen the trailer. It's got Korg is narrating the trailer, which is great.
All right, I'm just going to watch it.
But they do a really cool thing with Gorr the God Butcher because he's like super pale and just white. And all around him, the color is drained. It just looks black and white around him. It's got a super cool effect. He's just like bringing the life and the color out of the world. And Thor is just like the big, like colorful, big fun hero now. And it's Christian Bale just killing gods.
I wonder if this is going to be the last Thor with Chris Hemsworth or if they'll keep it going.
Well, this is like his retirement journey.
Yeah, I feel like this is his
end. Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows? This could be his last one, but Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
Who's going to take over Black Panther?
They haven't really said too much yet. Rumor has it Namor the Submariner is going to be in there, though, as the villain, which is exciting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I don't know. Those can be fun. The action sequences are fun. And Paul Rudd is good. We'll see.
I didn't see Ant-Man and Wasp, but I enjoyed Ant-Man.
I think one of the reasons that I liked the first Ant-Man so much is because a lot of the work was done by Edgar Wright, who's a director I love.
Yep.
Who they scared off because they wanted to force the Falcon in a fight scene, and he didn't want to. I think that was one of the main reasons. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, James Gunn, you can do no wrong.
Yeah.
The Marvels, I don't know. sequel to Captain Marvel, which I didn't, was one of my first times I went and saw an MCU movie and was like, that didn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
Because they had nothing but like big hits for a while. And I'm like, that one was a miss. But it also has Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel. And I don't know what else. Monica Rambeau from WandaVision. There's a new character. And Fantastic Four is allegedly coming as well.
So is their overall plan to build to like another Endgame sort of thing where it's all going to culminate again?
Yeah, you haven't seen the end of Loki, have you? They've teased the new big baddie.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to know who it is?
Yeah.
Kang.
Kang. No shit.
And did you see Lovecraft Country?
Yeah.
The main actor from that is Kang. Jonathan Majors, maybe?
He plays the main dude. I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah, let me look it up. Jonathan Majors, yeah.
I'm so sad that got canceled.
Oh, I know. I love that show so fucking much.
So good.
It was one of my favorite shows that year.
Yeah.
People don't like the right stuff.
And I guess another reason it got canceled is because the girl, it's been so long since I've seen, I can't remember their names or character names. The love interest, the main girl.
Yeah.
Apparently she's really hard to work with. And she kind of tanked belief that they could make a second season happen.
Journey Smollett?
I want to say I read somewhere that, yeah, she's kind of hard to work with. She clashed with somebody on the set.
Okay.
And maybe they threw her under the bus a little bit as a scapegoat.
Oh,
but there was some drama, yeah.
All right, everyone. That's been phase 1 of the MCU with Popcorn Dogs. Thank you for supporting us.
I'm just going to go out and say it. I think we did a real good job.
This was a much more fun discussion than I anticipated. I knew it would be good, but you know your stuff. Excited to talk more. And I don't know if we're recording Raw Dogs today or not. We'll see. We can't talk about the devil without Dylan. That's like a standard I have. All right. Thanks, everybody. Do you agree with our list? You can put it in the Discord. You can say we're dumb if you want. We still like you.
Yeah.